Hello, my name is Alex Papadakis. Today I'm going to present to you an overview of Fragile X syndrome, going over a general description, causes, inheritance, and actually the latest news on possible treatments. So, Fragile X is a genetic condition that causes a range of developmental problems, including learning disabilities and cognitive impairment. So, many individuals with Fragile X syndrome actually have features of autism spectrum disorder as well that affect communication and social interactions. So, affected individuals usually have delayed development or speech and language by the age of 2. And Fragile X is actually more common in males than females. And according to the US National Library of Medicine, Fragile X syndrome occurs in approximately 1 in 4,000 males and 1 in 8,000 females. But interestingly enough, most males with Fragile X syndrome have mild to moderate intellectual disability, while only 1/3 of affected females are intellectually disabled. So, some physical features of Fragile X. So, the physical features of patients with Fragile X actually become more prominent with age and include a long and narrow face, large ears, and in males, enlarged testicles after puberty. So, Fragile X is an X-linked dominant trait. So, the causes of Fragile X is in a mutation in the FMR1 gene on the X chromosome. So, the primary function of a healthy FMR1 gene actually guides and instructs a protein called FMRP. So, the FMRP protein's primary function is to develop synapses or connections between the nerve cells in the brain. So, Fragile X is caused when the FMR1 gene experiences a CGG triple repeat at the 5' end. So, a normal repeat is roughly 5 to 40 times, but people with Fragile X have a 200 plus repeat. So, the mutation actually leads to a dysregulation of endocannabinoid pathway in the brain, and I will get into that a little bit later when I talk about possible treatments for Fragile X. So again, this overexpansion or too many repeats at the 5' end causes the FMR1 gene to turn off, resulting in a delay of the central nervous system and cognitive development, and that is why patients with Fragile X experience those cognitive delays and learning disabilities. So when researching some strategies on how to handle children with Fragile X syndrome, I found a few interesting techniques. So the first is a sensory-based diet. So the National Fragile X Foundation shared some of these methods. So again, the sensory-based diet is having your child eat specific foods throughout the day to raise or lower arousal. And this will help control with sensory input in patients and hopefully help with their functional abilities. And the second is a 5-finger approach. So Fragile X patients have trouble communicating. So this 5-finger approach is with the parent demonstrates if they grab the thumb, this is a signal to stop whatever the child is doing. If the parent grabs their index finger, it shows the child that they need to take a deep breath. The middle finger is asking what the parent themselves need to do to help their child. The ring finger is how do I help you? What can I do to help you in this situation? And the pinky finger is to do it. So some possible treatments and trials that came out actually just a few days ago. So there's some very exciting news about the Fragile X community that came out just a few days ago, again on Monday, May 6th. So AP News shared that the FDA actually granted Zynerba Pharmaceuticals a fast-track research for the potential treatment of some symptoms associated with Fragile X. So Zynerba is making a product they call Zygel. So Zygel is a CBD-based gel, and is the only pharmaceutically manufactured CBD oil. So the Zygel's primary function is to counteract the disruption of the endocannabinoid system, the one that is affected that I mentioned earlier, that Fragile X patients experience in the brain. So the CBD in the Zygel is aimed to improve some behavioral issues in patients, such as the irritability and lack of movement, which is caused by the lack in the endocannabinoid system. So based on some research, this seems like very big steps within the Fragile X community. And these are my works cited, and thank you very much for taking the time to look at my presentation.